Dear students, welcome to today's class on फाउंडेशन डिज़ाइन। फाउंडेशन डिज़ाइन को समझने के लिए हमने एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट लिया है। द स्टेटमेंट इज ए स्क्वायर कॉलम कैरीज एक्सियल लोड 1000 kilonewton. Column size is 400 mm by 400 mm. Design the column footing if it rests on soil having bearing capacity of 120 kilonewton per square meter. Check the footing for shear also. Take M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. As per the problem statement, we have to design a column footing, isolated column footing. In fact, isolated column footing are of two types. The first type may be pad footing. In pad footing, the top of the footing is purely horizontal and the column is just a vertical member attached to this pad footing. The base of the footing rests on the soil, which applies an upward pressure on the soil from its bottom. And another type of isolated footing may be a sloped footing, in which the top of the footing is not horizontal, it is sloped from all sides, having a lesser width on its top and a wider width at the bottom. The footing again rests on the soil, which is applied by a vertical upward force by the soil, and the upward force depends on the area of the footing at its base and also on the safe bearing capacity of soil. With these basic concepts, we will begin the design. The problem gives the total load upon column is 1000 kilonewton. The concrete grade is M20, that is 20 Newton per millimeter square is the value of FCK. Steel grade is 415 Newton per millimeter square, that is steel tensile strength. Now to begin with the design steps, the first step is the size of footing. To determine the size of footing for a square column having a size of 400 mm by 400 mm, the total load on column is 1000 kilonewton. Along with this column load, the self weight of footing, that is the dead load of footing, is taken at the rate of 10% of the column load, that is 100 kilonewton. So total actual load comes 1100 kilonewton on the footing from the column. With this, we can calculate the area of footing by taking a ratio of total load divided by SBC, the safe bearing capacity of soil, which is given in this problem, 120 kilonewton per square meter. So 1100 divided by 120 equal to 9.16 square meter. So as the column is a square column, so the footing would also be a square footing. So the size of the footing would be root under 9.16, that is 3.02 meter. So this is a footing having a 3.02 meter by 3.02 meter, that is 3020 millimeter. Now if we draw a sketch of the footing, a square sketch, then its width is 3020 millimeter, length is also 3020 millimeter, and within its body, purely at the center of the rectangle or square, center of the square footing, the column would be located. The main condition would be here that the center of the footing and the center of the column should lie at the same point. So with this concept, there are spaces out of the face of column all along the four sides, and this is demarcated here as X and Y. Though as it is a square footing, this X and Y both would be equal. X would be equal to 3020 total width or length minus 400 column dimension divided by 2, that is 1310 millimeter. So X and Y both are equal 1310 millimeter. So now we got the dimensions of the footing and its projection length on all the four sides of the column. Second step is to find out the net upward pressure, small p. So this is equal to factored load of column divided by area of footing. Factored load of column is calculated. The total load on column 1000 kilonewton multiplied by the partial safety factor for load 1.5 divided by area of footing, that is 3.02 into 3.02. So this comes 164 kilonewton per square meter. That is the upward pressure intensity coming from the soil on the bottom of the footing. So to calculate the load on the footing over the projected length on all four sides in UDL form, so the UDL loading due to soil upward pressure on footing base is equal to W equal to P into BF, that is the breadth of footing, that is 164 into 3.02 meter, and this comes 495.28 kilonewton per meter. So this would be applied on this projected length on all four sides of the footing by the soil. Now with this loading, now we can calculate the bending moment in the projected portion. So as the projected portion is purely going out of the face of column to some length, that is 1310 millimeter, and this length is applied by the upwards pressure from the soil, and this upward pressure, upward load in UDL form would try to bend this projected portion as a cantilever beam, and once it is bent, a curvature would be developed on all four sides of the column, and this is an upward deflection at the edge of the footing. Because of this upward deflection at the edge of the footing, the bottom of the footing will come under tension. Therefore, the reinforcement bars are required near the bottom of the footing. So you can see here in this vertical cross section of the footing that a straight line represents the main steel near the bottom of the footing, and the circle, black circle, represents the transverse steel, that is the second layer of the steel bars provided in the footing. So by these two layers, a mesh of reinforcement is provided at the bottom of the footing. Now the area of the steel would be according to the value of the bending moment. The value of the bending moment mu is calculated as the maximum bending moment in case of a cantilever at its support. The column face acts here as a support. So mu is taken as WL square by 2, that is 495.28 multiplied by 1.310 square by 2. This way comes 424.97 kilonewton meter. 424.97 in 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter. So this is the maximum bending moment for which we have to calculate the steel area in this projected length of the foundation. Now the next step is to calculate the depth of footing in flexure. So as per SP16 page number 10 table C, we have a formula for mu limb, that is the maximum bending moment, divided by 0.138 FCK into B, that is for FY 415 steel grade. So as per this formula, D comes 225.79 millimeter. So generally we take 2 to 2.5 times of this value of small d, and let's take 550 millimeter as the value of small d for the second layer reinforcement, that is the circle bar. So with this we can now calculate the total depth. If we assume this diameter of the bars is 16 millimeter, then this half of this second layer, the full diameter of the lower layer, and the clear cover below the steel bars to the bottom of the footing is taken as 50 millimeter. So D is equal to 550 plus 16 by 2 plus 16 and plus 50 clear cover, that is 624 mm as the overall depth of the footing. With this, now we can calculate the main steel area. As we have selected a pad footing, so in this case the depth is uniform throughout the width of the footing and length of the footing. So we'll calculate mu by BD square ratio equal to 424.97 into 10 to the power 6 divided by B, that is 3020, and 550 whole square. So this we get 0.465. So using SP16 table 2, now we can calculate the PT, percentage of steel value, from the table, and it comes 0.1325%. With this we can calculate the area of steel AST PT by 100 into B into D. So this comes 0.1325 by 100 into 3020 into 550, and this comes 2200.82 millimeter square. Now we'll check this area is higher than the minimum steel area required as per IS 456 or not. As per IS 456 for Fe415 steel grade, the minimum steel area is 0.12%, that is 0.12 by 100 into B3020 into capital D, that is 624, and this comes 2261 millimeter square. So if we select 16 mm diameter bars, then the number of bars would be 2261 by 200.96 area of 1 bar, and this comes 11.25, that is 12 bars we need to provide in each layer. Now we'll check the steel bars for cracking. If we draw a sketch of the reinforcement in the footing, though as you have discussed, there are one layer, that is the lower layer shown here in X direction, and the upper layer shown here in Y direction. Both are 12 number of bars and 16 mm diameter bars spaced equally on both the directions. So if you deduct the end edge cover, that is 50 millimeter, so we get the clear distance center to center between bars equal to 3020 minus both side cover, that is 50 into 2, minus half of the last bar diameter 16 by 2 and minus 16 by 2, so minus 16 taken together, divided by the total number of bars minus 1, 12 minus 1, so this comes 264 millimeter. Now this spacing between bars is more than the required spacing, maximum spacing, that is 180 millimeter as per IS 456 2000 page number 46 and table number 15. So this spacing of the bars is not okay. So the requirement is here to select another diameter of bars and again calculate the spacing. So selecting a smaller diameter, suppose a 12 mm dia bar is selected, then the number of bars would be more than 12s, and again the spacing would be different, and in that case the spacing between bars may come below 180 millimeter, which is most important for control of cracking in footing. So this way we have designed the area of steel in footing, we have decided the depth of the footing, and we have applied a check for cracking in the footing. Thank you very much for attending this lecture on foundation design.